WTBQ.
Hi, my name is Marina Alario from the Red Shutters, a full-service decorating and design company located in Warwick, New York, on Railroad Avenue, just across from the train station. We're about an hour north of New York City. We serve our clients every day to introduce style, taste, and help them make great decisions. We are here today on the Style Show, a show about decorating, fashion, and fun. We welcome you and encourage your friends to listen. They can log in from anywhere in the world to www.wtbq.com or call in at 845-651-1110 with questions. Today we're going to talk about the spa at Glenmere and the upcoming J. McLaughlin Trunk Show, which will benefit the Warwick Humane Society. I'm here with my co-host, Jude Hammerly.
Thanks.
So we would like to announce that on Wednesday, June 12th, from 11 to 2 p.m., up at the spa at Glenmere, there will be a we're calling a J. McLaughlin Trunk Show, and this will benefit our local Warwick Humane Society. They will be offering a tea luncheon, and it's a great opportunity if you live locally to visit and see the spa, because usually one would have to have a private treatment appointment to be able to do that. So we encourage you to come, and later in the show we're going to have Patricia Doherty, who is the Chief Marketing Officer from J. McLaughlin, to talk more about their clothes. And I'm excited today to talk about fashion, and the show is about decorating, fashion, and fun, and I believe that decorating and fashion have similar themes, and my formulas of incorporating traditional, modern, tribal, and fun, which I try to do every day in my work and in the way I dress, is kind of a theme throughout the Red Shutters, and we're excited about that. What do you have to say about this, Jude, in terms of how does that work for people? How does that benefit our customers?
I happen to believe that life is a competition, and I mean that in every possible good way. I think cooperation is a form of competition. It's a special form of competition, and I think humans are very good at cooperating, but what we are best at is competing. And so the challenge in terms of being a human is that you have to belong. Okay, so you always have to reference the center of the culture, and you always have to be, acceptable in some way, so that you have society around you and the support of society, friends and what have you. But you also have to be unique, and you also have to be differentiated somehow from the everyday. And so fashion is our way of doing that. It's our way of belonging in a general sense and then rebelling in a specific sense. And same thing with decorating. That's why I love when you talk about building a home that has modern, traditional, and tribal and fun elements. And that allows you to appeal to basically anyone who should come in the door. There's something in your home. If you do that, if you follow that formula, there's something in your home that everyone, no matter how extreme their own particular competitive strategy might be, they can see something they like in your home. You'll never exclude yourself from their company.
Right. It's true about clothing, too. Today, for example, I'm wearing a traditional dress from J. McLaughlin and a striped dress that I've had for several years, actually, and I love. It's one of my go-to pieces. And a tribal necklace that is kind of fun and dangly, but also has a fun orange color in it, and then a modern bracelet. So when I go to get dressed every day, that's my formula. I'm thinking about incorporating all those elements. And it does. It helps you relate to people. It makes for great conversation. It broadens who you are, and so it's a fun way to approach decorating and fashion.
I think you'll find that it's working because some person will comment on the necklace, and some person will comment on the bracelet, and some person will comment on the dress. But the person who comments on the necklace would never comment on the dress, and the person who comments on the dress would never comment on the necklace or the bracelet. So, it's about creating a very broad... Look, we cannot afford... No person can be an island. You have to have sort of this broad-based appeal, and the challenge of marketing of a decorating company or a fashion company is, how do you reference
or any company really?
Yeah, exactly. How do you reference the center of the culture? Because that's where the volume is, and yet how do you allow customers to differentiate themselves in the context of of their own personal, strengths and weaknesses.
Right. J. McLaughlin Clothing, I'm going to put in a special word for them now. It's one of my favorite lines. It's interesting because they're great, and we'll talk more about this later, but they're great to travel with. They pack easily. When you take the clothes out, they're not wrinkled because of the fabrics they're made of. And we'll say more about this. But, I wore, last night I went to the driving range. I wore an old J. McLaughlin polo shirt to golf with, and it's comfortable, easy to wear. And I also, went to the city yesterday to work. I had on a dress that was J. McLaughlin. It's my go-to kind of clothing, and very good quality, I might add. I am also a fan of Gap and Banana Republic, but I think that J. McLaughlin has trumped even J. Crew. I find, and C Wonder, two other companies that I have previously shopped in, but I'm not thrilled with anymore. Trying many of their items, they don't fit, and I get very frustrated. So J. McLaughlin is doing a great job, and I think that they also are sporting the what I'm going to call the Ivy style. Earlier this year, I spoke on the show about an exhibition that the Fashion Institute of Technology did in their museum called the Ivy Style Show. And they paid homage to the 20th century Ivy style, which including J. Press and Ralph Lauren and the many greats who have contributed to this style. And while one could say, that's kind of a preppy, pretentious thing, what it has really become a mainstream look and fashion, an important fashion statement in the world. And I think this is in part, and you can tell me, Jude, whether you agree with me or not, one thing we've done right in America is created educational institutions that really are the best in the world. And I think that people, our kids it's not easy to get into these schools, even with our economy having struggled in the last few years, it's still not easy to get into these schools anymore. And that is because the competition now is worldwide. People from all over the world want to get into our schools, and because they're terrific. Then there's not just one or two, like in Oxford and Cambridge. There are many great schools in the United States. And so this look, maybe one can't, go to the school, but they certainly can have the look. And this look is happening worldwide. We're seeing it in China, Asia, Russia. It's become a very popular style and a very important style in fashion. And so mixing it up is also kind of fun. You can wear a little bit of preppy and a little bit of punk. We talked about that with the Met show, a few weeks ago. But I think that the Ivy style, and I went to a normal school, did not go to an Ivy League college. I know you did, Jude. What did kids dress like on campus? And of course, you might reveal the period that was.
It was a competitive landscape, that is for sure. There were the true preppies who wore the preppy style, but their Ralph Pinpoint Oxford shirts were worn, and that's how you knew they were real. And then there were the pretenders, and they had the brand new Ralph button-down shirts. And then there were the deadheads, the stoners.
Oh, right.
There were the math wizards, and it was a vast competitive landscape of many Ivy styles, I would say. Some people trying to fit in, some people trying to pretend they fit in, tourists trying to pretend they fit in, and then, sort of a bunch of people who came from public school, like myself, and we're just happy to be there.
Right. Great. We're delighted. Pat Doherty is on the line. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Marina.
Hi. Thank you for joining us today. We're so glad to have you here. I want to introduce you to my co-host, Jude Hammerly. He's also was formerly the marketing officer at Snapple Iced Tea and is recently writing a book on why people buy. So I have two marketing gurus on the line. I'm thrilled. Tell us, Pat, about J. McLaughlin and a little bit about the company in your own words.
J. McLaughlin was founded 35 years ago by two brothers who opened their first store on the Upper East Side, Manhattan. And they were looking to provide what they thought was a gap in the market for some very classic clothes that were a little less serious about being classic and had a really exuberant flair for color.
Right, they're definitely a fun line. And the other thing I'm struck by that I love about J. McLaughlin is the sort of and you've coined it well, Main Street to Madison. You know, I've been to both types of shops. You know, the one on Madison Avenue. There's a great shop in Princeton. There's a great shop in Nantucket, but then you also have these simple, almost shack-like shops in, say, Washington, Connecticut, or I just posted the one in North Carolina that you just opened your 318th store.
Right, Highland.
In Highland, right, amazing. So say a little bit about that as well.
Well, it's like we want to be where our customer lives, works, travels, and plays. And so we have urban locations, we have suburban locations, and then the travel locations like Martha Vineyard and Highlands. And then we have 12 stores in Florida for the permanent residents and then the snowbirds who spend winters in Florida. So we kind of want to be where they are, and we're each store is distinct, and we kind of want to fit in with the neighborhood we're in, as opposed to being those defined big brand boxes that every store looks like. Every one of ours looks different, and we try to blend in with weathered wood if we're in Nantucket, and a more Palm Beach look if we're in Florida, and then a more urban look on Madison Avenue and Lexington Avenue.
Right, you've done a great job with that. And I encourage our listeners to go to their Facebook page. You have an excellent Facebook following, and you can see more of their style. I mentioned before, I personally wear a lot of your clothes because they are so easy to travel with. And, you know, I could really go on the golf course in the dress I'm in now. It wouldn't matter. It would still work because they're so flexible. And the clothes are made of great fabrics that are high-tech and can be worn in cooler or warmer temperatures. And I've used them to go to Greece with, and was recently in Italy and Austria, also traveled with them. So they're really terrific travel clothes. Tell us about, we're excited to have the trunk show come to us locally here at the spa at Glenmere. And tell us about, are you doing more trunk shows now? Is that something that's happening in the company?
We are, because we are building more stores. We're up to 70 stores, and we're going to, and 20 of them have opened in the last year. And the nice thing about trunk shows is we can introduce ourselves to a market before we even go there, or we can introduce the people to the brand so that they go and shop on our website, which just recently relaunched. And the nice thing is we're very community-oriented, so we try to do these trunk shows that give back to a charity like the Warwick Humane Society. And it's a nice way of being part of communities that we're not in with a store.
Right, and you have many, many items that you carry. It's not just dresses or shirts and pants. It's belts and bags. Say a little bit more about some of the items you carry.
Yes, we try and do product that complements the dresses, which is the mainstay of our women's business. But we do. We have a great fitting jean called a Dixie, which is in bi-stretch cotton, which has nice recovery and always looks amazing.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's good to know.
And it comes in 14 colors.
The Dixie.
Yes, and you can imagine what the colors look like. It's our palette.
Right.
And then the bag business is something we're really starting to grow into, and we have a great tote called the Alyssa, which is a deconstructed tote in 10 colors. They range from like the sorbet shades to these really emphatic brights. And it's a great bag. It's just the right size. It's deconstructed, so it's not heavy. You know how you often buy a bag and it's heavy before you put anything in it? Mm-hmm. This one is extraordinary. We do a great scarf that's an oblong that's big enough that you can put it in your tote bag and use it as a shawl when the air conditioning kicks in, or just tie it around your neck for being a quick change artist when you want to change up your look. So scarf is, and they're also very lightweight. And in beautiful colorations and prints.
You also do a great job with the needlepoint belts. Having made the needlepoint belts myself, they are an awful lot of work, and you offer them at a great value. By the time you buy the kit, have it made, it's a lot of money. So you have a great price point on that.
Kevin McLaughlin, our creative director, has a great time with the motifs on those belts. Figuring out what's going to be my next motif.
The frogs, the turtles.
Exactly. Martini glasses are
Martini
big.
glasses, right? That's a favorite. My son's favorite. So say something also about fit. I mentioned before, I think, one of your wannabe competitors is See Wonder, and they do a good job with merchandising and fun and impact when you walk in the store. But I have to be honest, I was at the Columbus Circle store, See Wonder, last weekend and tried on a dozen things. Nothing fit. I walked out with nothing. So, but I find plenty of things in your stores. Say something about the fit.
The fit it's very consistent, but the nature of the fabrics that we use are very accommodating to a range. If you're a smidge between two sizes, you can always do the smaller of the two with us, because there is this little bit of spandex in all those. Our signature Catalina cloth is the fabric you were talking about traveling with. It's this, you can roll that up and put it in a suitcase and pull it out.
Oh, that's what it's called, the Catalina cloth.
And it has just
That's what I have on today.
It has just 5% stretch in it, but that just gives it you just know it's going to fit, and it recovers every time from when you hang it on the hanger and put it back on again, and they're all washable. But no, fit is very important to us, and we've had a consistent fit model here for the same fit model for the last 20 years, and we just are very careful on the fit, and we also are very careful on that. Always looking polished, that they don't wrinkle, and they we know our customer travels, so we really look for fabrics that travel as well.
Right. Your brand is definitely a step up in quality from, say, a Banana Republic or Gap. That so you don't really have to worry. It is polished looking. It's neat, and you do a great job with patterns. I love the patterns that they use.
So much research is doing. The pattern library here is the most fascinating thing to go through, to see all the motifs, and much of it comes from. Some of it comes from Kevin's travels. Some of it comes from interior decorating motifs that he sees, vintage books. We were just looking at old clips of the Mary Tyler Moore show. I mean, there's just things that all of a sudden hit you and would say, oh, we could do something to that to make it relevant for today.
Right. There's plenty of patterns that I see that could be used for wallpaper or a great polo shirt,
Exactly.
golf shirt. And then recently, we're excited you opened and I hope it's okay to reveal this, an outlet here near Woodbury Commons. And I'm so happy that it's not inside Woodbury Commons. It's actually next to it near the Staples store, which makes it easy in and out. Getting into Woodbury in and out is not so easy. So I don't know if you aspire to be there one day, but from a personal standpoint, it's much easier to run into this location that you're in.
I mean, we look all our shoppers, and we believe that everybody shops in every kind of venue. You shop at Madison Avenue, you shop in an outlet, you shop at Target, and we wanted to be able. It was a good way, when we have broken sizes or, getting ready for a new season, the outlet is a perfect place to put it. We're a little uncomfortable being in large malls, so that felt more comfortable for our kind of store. And we've had good success with it. We've had a great manager, and it gets nice traffic. Mostly from it's not the bus loads coming into Woodbury Common. It's much more of the surrounding area.
Oh, that's good to know. Right. I think a lot of clients come from Tuxedo Park, where I do a lot of work, and from throughout Orange County. So we're delighted that you've come to Orange County. That's great. Welcome.
Hey, Marina and I have both spent a lot of time in and around fashion businesses. Do you go by Pat or Patricia?
Pat.
Pat. And every fashion company I've ever been in has a concept room, and on the wall are their clippings and their snipes and all of the other sorts of things they use as inspiration. What sort of inspiration would be on the concept wall in Jay McLaughlin's room?
It varies from season to season. A lot of it is destination pictures. We've got the Maldives and the Seychelles. We've got the Caribbean resorts. We've got some of the old Rhode Island cottages. We've got Hamptons, Upper Bay, Michigan, all the American destinations for travel. And right now, because we're doing resort and spring 2014, so it's mostly destination pictures. We've got all those great pictures of Grace Kelly on the beach in New Jersey, actually, and and it's mostly about travel and destination, and lots of pools and beach scenes, cabanas.
It's great to hear the way first of all, you're great on the radio because you have a very visual way of constructing your sentences. We have, interviewed a lot of people, and so many people from fashion come on and they talk about the very narrow, limited way they look at the brand, which totally flies in the face of everything Marina and I believe about marketing. But you are completely different. You are describing your customer as a person who shops everywhere. You're describing an extraordinarily broad range of destinations, both domestic and international. It sounds like you are purposely trying to open up J. McLaughlin to, a very wide range of people who, would be using the brand for their own purposes, and consequently you're trying to be inclusive rather than exclusive.
Oh, we're very inclusive. This is, we have extraordinary quality, but we offer an extraordinary value, and I think that more people should be exposed to the brand because it isn't one of those prohibiting brands, and it's the nature of our shops to be so welcoming. We're not one of those doormen at the door, and you walk around the shop and nobody talks to you. I mean, we're very welcoming and we're very open, and we are looking to really broaden ourselves to a real new generation, whether that new generation is young or old, as long as they love color and they love travel and they love good quality.
That's great. The way you're describing fitting in to the communities too. Well, we have certain buzzwords that we use in the context of marketing, and one of them is belonging. So, look, we don't believe brands compete. We believe people compete, and one of the ways we compete is to belong. So it's really a brilliant maneuver on the part of a company to attempt to belong itself. That just allows its
Right.
customers to belong.
We also like to think it is like that instant old friend, that it's a familiarity. It isn't like this looks new or it seems like it's always been there.
Well, it's funny because Marina and I were saying we have a real downtown here that works in Warwick. It's a small town, but the downtown area still has stores that you can shop in. It hasn't been completely overrun by nail salons and restaurants and what have you. So I said, hey, if J. McLaughlin was going to come to Warwick, what store would they take? And she, mentioned one, and I said, oh, okay, that's exactly the right store. So I love that there isn't a J. McLaughlin look, and that you're conscious of your surroundings. It's ingenious. My hat's off to you as a fellow marketing person.
Oh, thank you. All the credit goes to the brothers. They were genius. They were just genius when they started this up, and they were very slow to expand. They had 6 stores for an awful long time, and then each time the moment felt right for them, they moved on, and they stayed within their comfort level, and I think it was just a brilliant move.
Where were the original 6?
The original 6 was 3rd Avenue, Madison Avenue, Palm Beach, Greenwich, Morristown, and I'm going to be bad and forget the Morristown, and it was another.
Maybe Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket?
It was Massachusetts. It could either have been the Cape or Martha Stewart.
How about that?
Martha Stewart.
Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard.
We'll edit that out. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
thank you.
Have you been up to the spa at Glenmere or to the Glenmere Mansion at all?
I haven't, but we were all looking at the pictures and we have to come.
Yes. You can go onto the website, www.theredshutters.com, and go to my portfolio, see many great photos there, or go directly to the Glenmere Mansion website, and
We
they have
did
great
that.
photos.
And
Great.
I grew up in northern New Jersey, so I'm familiar with Warwick. So it's
I
not-
did as well. Oh, great. And so,
Well, we remember when Glenmere was, it was the location of the future. I mean, that destination was completely revived by some brilliant people and a considerable investment. And wait till you see it. And I don't know. You do know Warwick. You may remember what it was like when it was an empty shell, because now it is just a magnificent palace.
Wow, it's just just the pictures looked extraordinary.
It's fun. It was originally a Carrera and Hastings property done by Carreras and Hastings architects in the early 20th century for Robert Golet, and then now it has been turned into a Relais and Chateau 5-star boutique hotel, and we're very lucky that it's so close to us. And we could,
as Marina gets to see your style and talk about it at the trunk show.
It's a lovely showcase for our trunk show, so we're very appreciative.
Which will take place in their shop, which is their spa shop, which is called the Blue Shutters. I am the Red Shutters, and they paid homage to our company and called it the Blue Shutters.
Yeah,
So
we'll get to see Marina's design.
Now you need a white shutters too.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and you do a great job. I mean, I have to say, every time I walk into a store, a J. McLaughlin store, and I've been to the ones in, like I said, Nantucket, Princeton, Madison Ave, all over, and they're always friendly, And I love the little ones, the little shops.
I love those.
I love it.
Myself.
We're kind of coming upon them in the small roads as you drive, so that's great. You've done a great job. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to having you at the Trunk Show on June 12th, and we want to encourage you to go to both J. McLaughlin's Facebook page and the Red Shutters Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter as well, and like us on Facebook. And if you need more information on the Trunk Show, which will benefit the Warwick Humane Society, simply go onto the various Facebook pages and you can check it out there. Thank you for joining us today, Pat. We really appreciate it.
Bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, fashion is, it's probably the most fascinating subject. It's the most personal. It's the most risky. It's the most safe. It's the most unique, and it's the most common means of expression. It's everything all at once.
Well, we get dressed every day, and we should look great.
We should look great.
My feeling is and that takes work. I often say, it's not easy. Sometimes you don't even know what you're putting on. And I have my kids, like we've said before in the show, photograph me, which is embarrassing. But, I want to see how something looks. And, it's a lot of work to look great. So we're excited to have a wonderful line of clothing coming to Glenmere and to come to Orange County and to benefit a local charity, which is the Warwick Humane Society.
Trunk show usually means value, too. When you hear those words, doesn't that mean like maybe there's going to be some good buys there?
Yes, we'll have to check with Alan up at Glenmere to see what he's going to do.
Oh, yeah, he's going to hopefully make it a good value.
Yes, so thank you for being here with us today on The Style Show, a show about decorating, fashion, and fun. We encourage you to like the Red Shutters on Facebook and to visit our website at www.theredshutters.com to contact us there. Okay, have a great day.